would you call Carolina the best team in hockey then as of right now? Or is there a team out west that matches them?
I think Dallas.
Dallas
right there with really good.
Always follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Your reaction to last night's game with how the Bruins performed in a Game 6 loss and moving into a Game 7 now as they go back home. And this is just everything how it's aligned now where the Maple Leafs can't win a Game 7. They can't beat this team in the playoffs overall in the series. But this could be back-to-back years, first time ever where a team blows a 3-1 series lead.
It's mind-boggling. Game 5, they're outshot 11-2 in the first period. Came out flat. They looked nervous. And then you follow that up in Game 1, and it was 12-1. It was 15-1 at one point. Shots. I don't understand what we're seeing from Boston. I mean, they look like the scared team. And with a guy like Brad Marchand leading the way, it's surprising to me.
So how does that change for Game 7 at home? All the pressure is going to be on them.
I don't know how it changes. And the scary thing, here's the thing with Toronto. Like, we can talk about what Boston is going through and their struggles. But Toronto's DNA has been a team that they're not playoff ready. They're not a team that they're not nasty. They're playing like we've not seen them play in many years.
Notice how physical they were last night?
And they were physical. Look, Max Domi, the son of Ty Domi, more skill than his dad. But he has been a beast since taking over for Austin Matthews at center. They're a different team. And I love William Nylander. Like, that to me, that come playoff time, he's been their best player the last couple of years.
No offense to speak of. The shots 15-1 to start out. Nothing, listless effort in the first period. Can't do anything, especially if Toronto stays out of the box and they're not getting power play opportunities. Montgomery called out Pasternak after the game. What do you think of that move?
Well, he has no points in his last 2 games. He's got just 2 goals in the series. 5-on-5 come playoff time, guys. It's the teams that have the best power play. 4 of the top 5 power play teams in the playoffs are already through. Boston's the other one. Like, there's not a big difference. So you look at the Game 1, Boston 2 for 5 on the power play. Mm-hmm. They win. Game 2, 1 for 2 on the power play. They win. Games 3, Game 2, I'm sorry. Game 2, they lost. Game 3, they were 2 for 3. Game 4, they were 1 for 3. They're 0 for 4 in the power play in their last 2 games. It's a big difference for them. They've got to find a way.
Well, what do you make of the guy in net now for the Maple Leafs?
He's their best goalie.
Wall's been awesome.
He's been awesome. And he's been there. He has been, I've talked to people who know this guy, grew up in St. Louis, Joseph Wall did. They said to me last year, best goalie in the system. I thought last year that he would be their starter at some point. If he was healthy at the beginning of the year, he would have been their starter, and Samsonov would not have been the guy. The guy looks infallible. I mean, as good as Swayman has been, Wall has matched him.
Yeah.
Agreed with that. What do you make of the number now for Game 7 as the Bruins are right around minus 135, higher than the series price before Game 1 actually started, and the total's at 5.5. Paulie bet the under on that number.
Oh, well, the under, I mean, look, if you want to play it safe, the 2 things that have, death taxes and the under in this series and the Leafs team total under. I mean, they can't score more than 2 goals. Even when they win, they can't score more than 2. Now, Mike Palm, I thought, made a great point, I think, on Thursday with you guys. If you like the Leafs, take that series price at plus 325. I mean, you got to be feeling really good coming in to the game tonight, into that Game 7. And if you want, you can still hedge and come back at Boston at minus 135. Wouldn't be a bad way to go if you were able to do that.
Do you think this is could be a Bennington story again with what he's able to do? I can't believe they're throwing him in there the last couple of years in elimination games, and he's 3-1 with a 1.40 and a 950 save percentage. The people are... Is there something there that this could be like Bennington Part 2 if Wall gets hot at the right time and carries a team to make a deep run?
He's just, Paulie, he's a really good goalie. He's the best goalie they have in their system. It could be like a Bennington thing. It could be, but he's really good. Like, it's not a fluke that he's playing this well from the people that I've talked to. They've always said, best goalie in the system.
Okay, but then why the Samsonov stuff, though, too, I would say as well. But and then the thing, if they come back and do this without Matthews, this is an all-timer. Well, what do you think? It's more than an illness. I know they were breaking it down on Sportsnet, but that's another angle, too. If Boston blows this and Toronto comes back without their best player.
Well, what it means to Boston, sure, Jim Montgomery could be he could be coaching for his job, as you've been talking about throughout the show.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is so surprising that the guy who is the best goal scorer on the planet right now is not playing, and they're winning.
And they're winning without him.
And they're winning without him. Mm-hmm. So But look, I'll go to even what Johnny Lazarus was saying with you guys in the second hour of the show. I mean, is Boston going back to where they were, what we thought they were going to be? Because they're not deep enough. We always felt like they're not deep down the middle. And right now they're showing, but it's still. I mean, the fact that Pasta has only 2 goals in this series, and he and Marchand have been blanked the last 2 games, those guys rise to the occasion. And so credit to Toronto for doing what they're doing.
They pretty much always have in their careers. Yeah. But it could be back-to-back seasons, obviously, where they go out like this. So moving forward, the winner of the series, do you give them much of a chance at all against Florida?
I don't think so.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, I mean, Florida just looks, they're so impressive. I mean, think about, really the margin of victory between them and Tampa was pretty much 1 goal. I mean, until you got to the elimination
Tampa's
game.
good.
I think the goals were like 13-12 or something like that. I mean, it really wasn't a big difference. But God, Florida is just so deep, and the way that Bob has played, and the saves that he has made, I don't give much of a puncher's chance to either team.
Okay, now this is great because we talked to Johnny earlier, and everyone you talk to is shocked, and they bring it up. How's the best team with home ice and underdog here? Except, as Mitch pointed out, one of the guys we had on Jeff Davis who makes the number, and Jeff Davis here at Circa made Carolina, he wanted to go as high as 180 in the series. So he says he got $1.60. Even the people were crying at 140 is outrageous. He went higher on the series. I think the Rangers are going to have a tough time scoring. I bet under Game 1 on Sunday. What do you think, Carolina, $1.40 here against the Rangers?
I like Carolina in the series. I think they are the better team. Look, what Carolina has missed, guys, in years past is they have not enough depth up front. And there's 3 guys on this roster that weren't on this playoff roster last year. Jake Gensel, who they acquired at the trade deadline, Evgeny Kuznetsov, who they acquired at the trade deadline, and Andrei Svechnikov, who's been a big part of this team for a number of years. They're all added to this roster. They've got 12 guys that have scored a goal in the playoffs. They're deep as heck. And the other thing, we haven't even mentioned the guy who leads the team in scoring, and that's Seth Jarvis. This kid, it's a breakout year for Jarvis. He scored 31 goals this year. He had 30 in his previous 2 seasons. I think he's a good bet for, by the way, if you like Carolina, Conn Smythe.
Oh, that's the guy that you would go with right now.
Right now, with the number you can get on Jarvis at about plus 2,200, absolutely.
Okay, he'd be the number 1 guy that you would bet if you like Carolina.
Right now, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Followed by who?
Well, for Carolina,
for anybody.
No,
actually.
I mean, I got a laundry list of guys. Depending on what team you like, there are guys. Look, you've got Connor at the top of the board at plus 550. I would take Leon Draisaitl at plus 2,500 right now, or Zach Hyman, at plus 280. I think Draisaitl's been the Oilers' best player this year in the playoffs.
You've been all over him.
Yeah.
Props have been good.
Yeah.
Yes. One more thing on this series. I'm concerned about Rangers scoring offensively. You have the numbers to back it up. I talked about it earlier. The 2 wins in the regular season were 2-1 and 1-0. But I was, at times, their play was lacking against. Washington might have been the worst playoff team ever. They were outscored by 37 goals on the season and made the playoffs. It's never happened before.
Yeah, no, I am concerned. The Rangers have always been a team that's been top 6 heavy. Now, the addition of a guy like Jack Roslovic, who came over from Columbus, this is a guy that was former first-round draft pick. He's helped this roster. Vincent Trocheck's been one of the Rangers' best players. But I just think Carolina's way deeper. And if Freddie Anderson can be just good, he doesn't have to be great. I think I like Carolina.
What's good? What's good enough?
He's got to have like a 905, 910 save percentage. And if he can do that, I mean, he's been phenomenal. I think he only had like 2 losses. Regulation losses down the stretch when he came back. I mean, he's been really good. He hasn't been the Freddie Anderson that we're used to seeing. So
the other side is they struggled against the Islanders. That was supposed to be a cakewalk. It wasn't.
But you know what? 2 teams that play the same style, in my opinion. It's just that Carolina has more skill. So I think we're going to see more of a wider open contest between the Rangers and Canes than we did against, with the Islanders and the Hurricanes.
We'll get into the Western Conference coming up next. By the way, would you call Carolina the best team in hockey then as of right now? Or is there a team out west that matches them?
I think Dallas.
Dallas
right is really good.
Okay.
I thought Vancouver missed their opportunity when they had a chance to close out Nashville up 1-0 with less than 10 minutes left, and they lose 2-1. Now they go on the road, Nashville trying to force a Game 7. Where's the offense coming from, right? I ran it down earlier about the lack of shots on goal. So they win Game 1, They're down 2-1 with 8 minutes left. Crazy comeback, they win. Then you get the bad news on Demko. You lose him, a new injury. They lose game 2, listless performance, 4-1. Game 3, they went on the road, 12 shots on goal. Game 4, you get the miracle where you're down 3-1 with 2 minutes left, you win in overtime. And then what happened in game 5? I played under 5.5. I got Nashville tickets coming out of my ears. I got 7-1, 6-1, 4. Mitch, they think we can come back and win this here, and I think they win tonight and they force a game 7. What do you want to do with this series tonight and moving forward here? 3-2 Vancouver, game 6 in Nashville.
I think the only thing you do is you play under and you hope that you don't get a bad break like you did in game 3.
Well, the one in Nashville
4,
where they blew the game. I mean, that was just devastating on both sides.
Yeah. So that's the one. Yeah, the game 4. That was
game
the one.
4.
That's the
game 4. 3-1, 2 minutes left.
So I think under is the only way to go. I mean, I can't trust either team. There's just so I would play under and just and hope you don't get a bad break.
It's one of those things that if you bet the under and you lose, it's like, okay, so what? Because it's like me last night. I had the under first half. Knicks and 76ers, it took 17 points in the second quarter from Buddy Hield. Okay, he's blazing hot. Nothing you can do about that, right?
Yeah.
It just happens, and I lost a bet. I'll move on.
Edmonton should take out the winner, no?
Absolutely. This team is on a mission. I remember the post-game interviews after they lost to Vegas last year. I've saved them because I want to use them for my radio show. Draisaitl is crying. Like he's fighting back tears when they got eliminated. McDavid is talking about how it's unacceptable. Like, you're going to go through it, but we're not going through it again. They're on a mission. And they played that series against Los Angeles. They had no respect for the Kings. You think about the 1-0 game that they won in Game 4. They went up 1-0, and after that, they didn't even try to score again.
13 shots on goal.
Yeah, they didn't try.
Bizarre.
Every time they got the puck, just dump it out. And because they kind of felt like if LA scores, we'll go up 2-1. It was the same thing in Game 5. They just don't care. Like, they know they're better.
Also, what did they file away from earlier this year when Vancouver really took it to them?
Oh, my God. Draisaitl and McDavid have talked about, they circled those games. They were humiliated. And if they get Vancouver, Vancouver's in big trouble. And I think, look, they've dominated Nashville. McDavid and Draisaitl have feasted on Nashville over the years. This Oilers team, the thing with Edmonton is they're built so much better than they've been in years past. They've got guys that'll be nasty. And Draisaitl, to me, I think he's been Edmonton's best player at both ends of the ice. He has been relentless, just absolutely relentless.
And you've been playing his points prop over 1.5 every game, and it started off at like plus 175.
195.
195 you got. Okay, very good. And then it came, but it was still like plus 155, and he's going over every game, but I think one so far.
Every game but one. So shh. Don't say it too loud.
So you would expect them then to win and defeat the winner, like Paulie said, of Vancouver and Nashville. In the other, first of all, like tonight is Game 6 out here. Dallas and the Golden Knights. It was basically a pick 'em when we got here this morning. Money coming in on the Stars. You called them the best team in maybe hockey earlier in this interview. Do you like them to finish them off tonight?
I'll tell you, this is kind of hard for me because I'm a big Vegas fan. Like, it's hard, but I just think this Vegas team, again, the problem with Vegas for me, guys, is that they've been a 40-minute team, I think, in this series for the most part. Dallas wears them down. I don't want to think that Vegas can go away because I just think there's so much talent, and I love the way that Jack Eichel has played, but I would probably just, again, bet the under. Although, it's interesting. You're seeing that the over's getting hammered, at least. I was looking at the bet splits before he came on. 69% bets, 90% money on the over, but it hasn't moved off 5.5 because I don't think the odds makers want to move it off 5.5 and go to 6. They'd get crushed on the under, I think.
Elimination game's always scary because you see the goalie comes out, he stays out. But I didn't understand the goalie change by Cassidy in the last game. And the ice has been tilted here. I mean, the total domination of Dallas. The home team's only won one game in the series, but the domination in Game 3, Thompson stand on his head. Then you lose the other home game after that. And then Stone scores right away on the power play in Game 5, and you get one goal the rest of the way, and then the ridiculous penalty as well. So I think Dallas takes them out tonight as well and sends them home, and then we get that Dallas-Colorado matchup. What do you want to do with an Eichel prop?
All right, so Eichel over a half point. It's got points in every game, but you can't bet it on its own because it's like -2 something. So I think if you take Eichel over a half point and combine that with over 3.5 shots on goal, you can get that at plus money. I think that's a good way to go. Eichel's been their best player. He's going to do everything in his power for this team not to lose and force a Game 7. And the other prop is Wyatt Johnston, the kid for Dallas.
He's been fantastic.
Over half a point, yeah. I mean, here's the thing with Dallas. You take a look, talk about a team that's kind of blended in youth and veterans. Because you're young, you've got guys like Johnston, and you've got Jason Robertson, you've got Stankoven, and then you've got Ben and Sagan, and the vets are still there, and it's a great combination. But I love Wyatt Johnston. 3 goals, 5 points, leads the team in scoring.
What is your level of confidence with Ottinger in net? Mike Palm was saying the other day he likes Dallas, but he has to really question Ottinger.
But you can't after the first game, I don't think. I think he's kind of...
Not in the third period.
Yeah.
He shut him down in the third
period.
Yeah,
I mean, the save, he made a big save on Stevenson on the breakaway. That was a groin pull save, Paul. You ever tried one of those?
Yes. I had plenty of issues, right? I'm a portly fellow, too.
What are the Knights doing net then tonight? Is it gonna be Hill again?
I would think it will. I mean...
Now, why would he do that?
I don't know. It was baffling because, look... Logan Thompson played so well.
People who cover the team that I follow on X were like, well, here you go. It looks like it's going to... And then just the responses were like, are you kidding me? What is going on here? And nobody had an answer for it.
Well, you think about it, Aiden Hill's last game before the playoffs was a stinker against Anaheim that forced him to play Dallas in round one. So it's like, Vegas did everything they could all season long to get this guy to be number one. I don't know. But look, it wasn't the only move that Cassidy made. He put all of his lines in a blender for Game 5. So overall, should we be surprised that he went to Hill? I guess not. And he wasn't the reason why they lost Game 5 either. He played well. He probably played his best game in 2 months.
Weird timing. What are you hearing on Demko if Vancouver advances?
It's double secret probation on that one there. I have no idea. I mean, he's traveling with the team, and my understanding is part of that is also due to the fact that he and DeSmith have a really good relationship. Now, I don't know if DeSmith plays. I wouldn't go off Slivov's the way he's played.
You wouldn't play DeSmith tonight?
No.
Wow. Okay.
The kids played. Slivov has played really well. There's no reason. You got to score. Like if you're Vancouver, score.
That's the key.
Yep.
You think about it. They lose 2-1. The guy that scores is Nikita Zadorov. Not. We're not talking about Pedersen or Miller. They've got to find a way. Like you talked about it. They've had spurts. Vancouver. They had. Just, 2 power play goals in one game to win a game. They can't score 5 on 5.
Mitch is big on Colorado, and I hope we get Colorado-Edmonton. Beautiful call by you on Hellebuck, who was just awful. And that's going back like a 1-8 record now, his last 9 playoff games. Did you see what he said in his exit interview?
I did.
Did you see that?
I did.
I didn't see most of the goals, he said.
Yeah.
So what
He
they're
also
doing...
said, to be honest, he goes, I was playing my best hockey of my career.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't see any of the goals.
They're a freight train. I mean, that's an unbelievable comment, he said, about what they did, and they scored 5 goals on him in every game. He's going to win the Vezina.
He will. And McKinnon talked about the fact that when they got eliminated, he was doing his on-ice interview, and he said that 7-0 game absolutely humiliated them. And from that point on, he said that was a real kick in the butt. And it was interesting. Pete DeBoer referenced it. He said he watched them play against Vegas the next day, and he said that's a different team. And they are a different team. You think about, like, Val Nichushkin's got 7 goals to lead the team. This is a guy that back in 2018 didn't score a goal in 57 games. It's not,
Wow.
He's got 7, Lekkonen's got 5, McKinnon, Makar, and Rantanen all have 2.
All right, so as we close up here, your best bet, like tonight or tomorrow moving forward, would be what?
Best bet would be Toronto, Boston under 5.5. That's the best.
Okay,
I agree.
And the best Stanley Cup final would be?
Would be Dallas, Carolina.
That would be the best one.
I shouldn't say that. Well, I don't know.
Entertainment? What's the question?
No, to me, I get it. Dallas is awesome. I think Colorado, Edmonton would be the absolute nuts.
Well, Western Conference final.
That's what I'm saying. To go to the Cup, yeah.
That would be back and forth.
What if Edmonton plays Toronto in the Cup? Canada finally ends it.